So in terms of how you present your videos to your students, you may want to use a VLE or virtual learning environment. We use Moodle for our one, but there's plenty of others on the market. So here's the Moodle for DBS Institute. So what we're going to do is head into one of the courses, and what you can see is we've got all these options here for different sessions. So these are basically collections of videos, and they're hosted in what are called books. Now this method might not necessarily apply to you, but this is just how we're going about it. So for instance, if we open up a book here, what we can see is we end up with a video, and that video will play, and you can see to the side of here in this book we have a table of contents, and we have a bunch of different chapters of the book. So basically each video would be a chapter, so you can then skip through and go to the next video. So you can really organize your videos into different topics, different sessions, and basically get it nice and organized in a way that will make teaching easier for you. Now in this case, the way that we're actually hosting these is the videos themselves are hosted on Vimeo, and what's actually happening is that they're then imported into what's called a H5P. Basically what a H5P is it allows you to play these videos, and it also adds a bunch of extra features such as lots of interactive tools. So now I'm logged in on my admin account, and what we can see is that each of these H5Ps here is actually an iframe. So what we're doing is we are showing a box on screen, and in that box basically shows another website or another page. It's not necessarily the most elegant solution, but this is what we're going for. And the reason we've done that is because it lets us have one H5P video and then just easily put that into multiple courses without having to have multiple H5Ps. So in this case, you might actually just have the student directly interface with H5P instead of through an iframe. Now, what is a H5P? Well, it's basically just a video container, basically, that you can put videos into and then add a bunch more interactive elements, for instance. You can add sort of bookmarks to different sections of a video. You can add subtitles, but you can also do that in things like Vimeo, etc. And it's also a little bit better when it comes to copy protection. It's still very much possible to download a video from a H5P. In fact, you can even actually go down here, go reuse and download as a H5P file. But it's a lot more involved than, for instance, just hosting on Vimeo and embedding a Vimeo video. As with that, you could literally just copy and paste the link from the embed and paste it into a video downloading website. So it is a little bit more secure in terms of copy protection, but it is still very much possible to download it. So in terms of how we'd set up a video in H5P, the way that would work is we would basically put in a link to our direct file on Vimeo, etc. So it would have to be the direct link to the actual MP4 file. It couldn't just be a Vimeo embed link, for instance. But then once you import that, you can head down here to text tracks and add subtitles. So this is where you might want to add your captions, and this takes web VTT files or VTT files. We've also got some more options down here about auto-playing, looping, and things like that. We can deactivate the sound. We can prevent a user from skipping forward if we want to make sure they watch the whole video. But coming over to step 2 here, we can also add interactions, which is kind of where H5P shines in sort of an FE environment, for instance. So if, for instance, we want to add bookmarks so you can skip to certain sections, we can do that, sort of like chapters on YouTube. So we could say this section here is where the presenter talks about Max MSP, for instance. This section, the presenter talks about gain. So now the user can skip to these different sections. We can also add things like text, tables, links, images, statements, all different things, true, false questions, so we can quiz them as the video is playing. Any of this kind of stuff to basically make more interaction with the video and keep students engaged. So we can also add summary tasks at the end of the video. So maybe they've got to the end of the video and you want to basically just ask a question of something that was brought up in the video to see if they've took it in, and you can write them here. And you can also use this as a way of tracking whether a student has been engaged with the video. If you are going to be using H5P, they also have some tutorials available here on how you can use the interactive video stuff and basically just how to get it all set up.